How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're going to be checking out a video called Why Does Europe Have €0 Banknotes? So, I don't know, right? That's very weird to me. Why would they have €0 banknotes? That doesn't even make any sense, right? So I was looking online, just randomly, not even looking for videos to react to. I was just looking for videos to watch, like last night or something, or night before. I came across it and I'm like, man, like this is clearly a good one to react to because it doesn't even make any sense why they would even have €0 banknotes, or at least it doesn't so far to me. So, as always, the links to the original video will be in the description section down below. So, make sure you jump over there to the original channel. It's called Half Asleep Chris. So, a bunch of you guys go over there and subscribe and wake him up, right? How about that? So, let's check it out. Why does Europe, have €0 banknotes?
This is a €0 banknote. It feels like a real euro, and it features real working security features, including a watermark, UV ink, a hologram, and microprint, to name just a few. They're authorised by the European Central Bank, and if it wasn't for the giant zero front and centre, you could very easily mistake it for a genuine euro. So what exactly are these banknotes, and why do they exist? Join me as I attempt to travel an entire continent through these peculiar yet fascinating notes. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. Now, despite your...
Make sure you guys go over to his original channel and check this out and go hit subscribe to his stuff if that's what you like to do. Like if this is the kind of videos you like to watch and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Europe being one of the most culturally, architecturally, and naturally diverse continents on the planet, their banknotes are remarkably dull. It's a deliberate decision. They can't be seen to favour one country more than another, so...
How are they dull? They look pretty sweet to me. Ours are dulled. Ours are all like the same kind of basic, like greenish, brownish tint.
The architecture and buildings they portray are all entirely fictional. It's a terrible shame, but I understand it. They can't just print hundreds of different designs, or it would be a nightmare and very easy to fool people with counterfeits.
Fun fact though, it says that the buildings and stuff are fictional. I'm pretty sure the Netherlands actually recreated a lot of the structures that are on the euro. I don't know for sure if they've done all of them, but I'm pretty sure that they've recreated a few of them. So like the euro banknotes are actually like structures in the Netherlands, I think. Some of them are now.
Enter the €0. These are souvenir notes, originally intended to promote tourism, but which have since evolved into an encyclopedia of the continent and beyond. And though there are literally thousands of designs, meaning this is by no means an exhaustive list, I've tried to acquire at least one from every country.
Really?
Let's begin our journey in France, where these banknotes were born in 2015. This is the Arc de Triomphe, and I actually bought this one from a vending machine inside the monument itself.
€0 banknotes. They're actually worth $3 though. Let me look back. Let's see, where was it? Right here. €3. Sorry, not $3, but yeah. Interesting.
Vending machine inside the monument itself. At just over 200 years old, the Arc commemorates those who fought and died in both the French Revolution and Napoleonic Wars. And the landmark can be seen again on the Champs-Élysées €0, alongside the city's Egyptian obelisk. Next there's the Sacré-Cœur, the second most visited landmark in Paris, after of course the Eiffel Tower. Now these two notes are actually polymer, rather than the traditional paper feel of the euro. Although they normally make these in paper, I obtained them as part of a 2017 polymer collector's set.
Okay.
It's also worth pointing out that the Eiffel Tower features on all of the notes, both as one of the landmarks depicted on the reverse, and as this strange holographic shape in the top left of every design, portraying the landmark's footprint. This symbol also...
That's pretty cool though. So they have all the same features, same watermarks. So like for tourists, but see, then again, it's like €3. You might as well just get them like a real euro, like, you know what I mean? But then again, I guess, you know, with the different prints on it, the different stuff, it's like a collector thing. So it makes sense.
Appeared on the last 200 French franc note before the introduction of the euro, featuring the tower's designer Gustave Eiffel. Now we leave Paris behind and travel to the magnificent Palace of Versailles, again part of the polymer series, before heading south to the Millau Viaduct, the tallest bridge in the world. Finally, for France, we visit the rarest €0 of them all, and what is in fact the single rarest banknote in my entire collection. Marineland is an aquatic zoo that in 2015 saw devastating floods. Many animals escaped, while some were left in mud-filled pools, and several even tragically died, including sharks, stingrays and turtles. Another casualty of the flood, however, was the €0 machine, destroyed and lost to the water, and nobody's precisely sure how many had been sold up until that point. Whatever the
Okay, so they're not able to sell anymore out, so that's a limited edition. So those are gonna be rare, huh?
number, it wasn't a lot, and the surviving notes have since skyrocketed in value, becoming the most sought after of them all.
Okay.
With that, let's move on geographically to Monaco, the second smallest country in the world. We keep
Who's the first smallest country? Is it Luxembourg? I think Luxembourg is, isn't it?
the aquatic theme and see two notes from the Musée Océanographique, a century-old marine museum, with the notes portraying a loggerhead sea turtle and the museum's cliffside face.
That's cool.
Next is on to another tiny country, Andorra, sandwiched between France and Spain. The banknote features Casa de Laval, a historical house built in 1580 that serves as the headquarters of the country's general council or parliament. Let's travel further west still to Spain, where we see the landmarks of Barcelona depicted beautifully on this note. There's a 140-year-old and still unfinished Sagrada Familia, which can be seen on the back of every note, as well as the Casa Mila, the Casa Ballo, the Lizard in Park Güell, and the Columbus Monument.
You said still unfinished, so they're still building that thing. It looks ancient, 140 years old. Let me go back to that real quick. Yeah, it was right here.
Year-old and still unfinished Sagrada Familia, 140-year-old and still unfinished Sagrada Familia, which can be seen on the back of every note, as well as the Casa Mila, the Casa Ballo, the Lizard in Park Güell, and the Columbus Monument. From the polymer set, there's also the Santiago de Compostela Cathedral and the incredible Alhambra, a red palace and fortress complex that's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Next up is Portugal and another polymer note, featuring the Belém Tower, a 16th century fortification on the banks of the Tagus River in Lisbon.
Cool.
Interestingly, the tower now features on the back of each note, replacing Big Ben around 2016 or 17. I wonder whatever could have led them to remove Big Ben around that year. It's a mystery, but talking of Big Ben, let's continue our journey in the...
Why did they just move it? Like, you know, or like add it, like instead of getting rid of the Big Ben, add the tower thing and then, you know, have both. I don't know why they won't want to get rid of one. Interesting.
United Kingdom. Now, the UK never adopted the euro, and as such, there are only a handful of €0 notes here. This design sees the landmarks of London, Big Ben, Tower Bridge, the London Eye, and Buckingham Palace, whilst one of the only other ones I could find sees the RMS Titanic. The Titanic is obviously the most famous ship in history, and was built in Belfast, Northern Ireland, and set sail on her disastrous maiden voyage from Southampton. From the Republic of Ireland, I have 5 notes, portraying a map of the country, a Celtic harp and shamrocks, the Foynes Flying Boat Maritime Museum, several landmarks from its capital Dublin, including the statue of Molly Malone, a note portraying landmarks from elsewhere in the country, including the Cliffs of Moher, and then a note dedicated to just the Cliffs of Moher. Next, let's sail upwards to Iceland, another country that, like the UK, doesn't use a euro, instead using the Icelandic krona. Because of this, no notes have been issued, with the exception of one from a series celebrating the 32 countries of the 2018 World Cup. It sees a player beside the incredible Church of Holgrimar in Reykjavik.
That's a cool church.
Norway also doesn't use a euro, instead using the modern-looking Norwegian krone. And like Iceland, mainland Norway doesn't have any €0, although Svalbard, one of the nation's Arctic territories, does. The note features a polar bear with her cubs, beside one of the iconic polar bear warning signs. Now, since this is one of my favourite designs, I'm giving 5 of them away over on my Instagram, @HalfAsleepChris, so make sure to head over there after this video for a chance to win one of these adorable banknotes. Yet again, Sweden doesn't use the euro, rather the Swedish krona, and as far as I can tell, this design of the old town island of Gamla stan is the only note to be issued there. But Finland, which does use the euro, offers significantly more designs. The 2 I have portray the skyline of capital Helsinki and Santa Claus.
I wonder, okay, so Finland uses the euro, the other ones don't. I wonder why. And also, just randomly where I paused it, the Santa Claus thing. So did that come through? Because I know Germany, right? And then, so now is that the original? Because a lot of people are saying that like Santa Claus led up to like what we call, you know, the Santa Claus here. But if there's Santa Claus in Finland and stuff too, it just all evolved separately. And right. And then it was just a mismatch when it got here and just everything you just kind of put together. I don't know.
Sold at the post office in Santa Claus Village, right up in the Arctic Circle. The post office receives letters to Santa from all over the world and is open year-round, featuring postal workers dressed as elves.
What do they do with it?
Next up is neighbouring Russia.
Santa Claus ain't real, guys, right? Or, I mean, so, I don't know.
Which uses the Russian ruble. There are
Apologize if there's any kids watching. Santa Claus is real. My bad. I don't know what I'm talking about. He's real.
a good few €0 notes regardless, including this wonderful design of St. Basil's Cathedral, which many people mistakenly call the Kremlin, beside this building, which really is called the Kremlin.
I
From
have
Russia,
one of those up there on my... Yeah, I'm not going to take it out, but it's on my wall. The cathedral thing back here. Or no?
Building, which really is called the Kremlin.
Oh. This one, which I've heard it was called the Kremlin myself too. Yeah, right here. So it was Saint something Cathedral, right? Saint Matthews? No?
Many people mistakenly call the Kremlin, beside this building.
I didn't go back enough. Sorry, guys.
There are a good few €0 notes regardless, including this wonderful design of St. Basil's Cathedral, which many...
St. Basil's Cathedral, okay. All right. Yeah, I've heard that. I heard it was called the Kremlin, so...
people mistakenly call the Kremlin, beside this building.
Which is the Kremlin. So that's the real Kremlin. All right. The more you know, right?
Which really is called the Kremlin. From Russia, it's on to Estonia, where we see Tallinn's beautiful medieval skyline, before travelling down to Latvia's capital Riga. This banknote sees a rather ornate House of the Blackheads, completely destroyed during the Second World War, but rebuilt over 50 years later in 1999. In Lithuania,
cool.
we visit what's left of capital Vilnius's castle, rebuilt in 1933. The original castle can be seen on the old 50 Lithuanian liter banknote, the country's pre-euro currency. Now we reach Poland, who use a Polish zloty.
Pre-euro currency. Nice. That's old, huh? Actually, I don't know how old the euro's actually been around. Not quite sure.
And the €0 notes of which all seem to be remarkably sought after and expensive. I couldn't acquire any from Warsaw, so had to settle for this design from the city Legnica, depicting the Piast Castle, one of the largest in Poland. It also features what appeared to be some very old coin designs, perhaps from the Piast dynasty, when the castle was built.
Nice.
From Poland, we dip down into Slovakia and see another castle, this time in Bratislava, which stands on an isolated hill in the otherwise flat capital. The Czech Republic is another country that doesn't use a euro, using one of my favourite European currencies, the Czech koruna. Nonetheless, there are quite a few €0 designs, but I had to pick this one from the Ústí nad Labem Zoo, featuring my favourite animal, the tapir. Now I'm aware how long and list-like this video's becoming, and I can even feel my own attention span slipping, so Austria is going to be the final country we look at in this particular video. Let's start in Hallstatt, an incredibly picturesque village on the shores of Lake Hallstatt. I actually have two banknotes from here, this traditional €0 and this strange green one. This is actually a rival company that prints its own notes, believe it or not. They're still based upon the original euro design and also feature working security features including UV ink, microprint and a watermark, although this brand hasn't become nearly as successful. Anyway, next we visit Salzburg. Although this brand hatches, including still based upon... This is actually two banknotes, an incredibly picturesque village we look at in this particular video. Let's start in Hallstatt, an incredibly picturesque village on the shores of Lake Hallstatt. I actually have two banknotes from here, this traditional €0 and this strange green one. This is actually a rival company that prints its own notes, believe it or not.
How do you just do that? How? How do you just do that? I'm just gonna print my own banknotes? That doesn't even make any sense. How does that make... What?
They're still based upon the original euro design and also feature working security features including UV ink, microprint, and a watermark, although this brand hasn't become nearly as successful. Anyway, next we visit
This
Salzburg,
brand, huh?
home of legendary composer Mozart, before ending our tour in capital Vienna at the majestic Schönbrunn Palace, a note from the Polymer series. So this is where we put the bookmark, and we'll continue the journey in a few weeks' time exploring the rest of Europe and
Very
beyond.
cool.
That's right, India, Peru, Japan and the United States all have €0 banknotes of their own. But
What do you mean the United States? We don't even use the euro here, do we? Like, what? Okay.
why? Find out in part 2. Remember to
Find out in part 2, guys.
head over to Instagram for your chance to win one of 5
So that was pretty interesting. That was pretty cool. So I'm curious about the other one. I can't wait for the other video. It might be even now already. Anyways, that was pretty cool. So I don't even know. Why are we on there, right? Like that's one thing that I'm kind of wondering, like why, like the United States, why do we have a euro at all? So anyways, you guys take care. Have a super fun, awesome day. Hit like, hit subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. All right, later.
Svalbard Polar Bear €0.